considering relocating to Cambodia, there's no better time than the present. The Kingdom of Cambodia is located in Southeast Asia, bordered by Thailand and Vietnam. Cambodia is a developing country with a growing economy. Cambodia offers an impressive and diverse environment, from the sprawling flat plains in the central region to the winding Mekong River, tropical rainforests, and mountainous regions, as well as the crown jewel of the Khmer Empire, Angkor Wat, an ancient city built in the 11th century by the Khmer Empire that brings millions of tourists to Cambodia each year and was recently voted one of the top 5 tourist destinations in the world. So whether you want to live in the bustling city of Phnom Penh or on the tropical islands of Coron, or if you even want to dwell among the temples of Siem Reap, Cambodia has something for everyone. But more importantly, Cambodia offers a great climate, a wonderful exchange rate, and most of all, the friendliest people in the world. Contact us today at Sincere Travel Services to schedule your consultation, and we'll help make your move to Cambodia as smooth and easy as possible.
Hey, what's cracking, everybody? I hope everybody can hear me. To my man Ren, the golfer in the building. Ren, not just a golfer, but I would consider to be my homie. Thanks a lot for your support, bro. Thanks a lot for your support, man. Good to have you in the building. It really is. Hey, so y'all want to talk about what the word is? I'm not going to go down the golf rabbit hole, today, because we'll be there forever. But there is a rain delay at Augusta, so let me go ahead and get that, or a weather delay. You got Brooks Koepka, who's won a couple of majors, who's really tearing it up. I think he has a 4-shot lead, 12 under to 8 under. The current U.S. amateur champion is doing wonderful things. So, back here on my screen, I'm watching it on my Fire Stick over here. But there's a reason behind this show. There's a reason why I'm doing this show. And I'm going to get straight to it. And then I'm going to touch on this retarded live that I was watching a few minutes ago. And y'all already know. There's no need to call somebody a fool, because they'll show that themselves. But you know what I'm going to talk about today? And if y'all saw the thumbnail on this video, I was talking about how Zaddy is leaving the black woman out in the cold. Now, let me go ahead and get my caveats out the way. Anybody who's watched me or who's watched my lives already knows. Let me fix this camera a little bit. Who's watched my lives already knows that I'm not a black woman baiter. I'm not one of these dudes that I'm not going to do what they do. Everything that's wrong within our community or within that dynamic of black men and black women is not a black woman's fault. Every black woman is not an angry black woman. But to sit back and turn your head to believe that there's not an issue with, this whole feminism thing, toxic feminism within the black community. And let me go ahead and get started, man, because I know I ain't got all night for this, but I want to play this video for y'all. Fair use, fair use. Thanks to Crimson Cure, my man Easy Reactions. I think his name is going to be on there. Thanks a lot to them. But I want y'all to see this, because this is extremely, extremely powerful. It's a little long, but it's extremely powerful. And I'll stop it when I need to. So y'all check this out.
Greatest burden in the housing crisis, especially Black women. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Anna Laurel, in for Marcella Lee.
I'm Carlo Cicchetto. The report's definition of burden means the woman is spending at least 30 to 50% of her salary on rent.
Housing security in the U.S. since the pandemic is on track to become a crisis, and Black women are being affected the most by it. According to Eviction Lab, there were more than 434,000 evictions last year. So for some context to this, the eviction moratorium was in place for a large portion of the year, but the number of renters at risk of eviction as of January spiked to about 3 million and counting. And of those, Black women have the highest average of eviction filed against them at 6.2%, compared to white women at 3.4%. Now that equates to 1 in 4 Black renters living in a place where Black eviction filing rates were almost double than that of their white counterparts.
Hello, welcome to
the ability to provide.
Hold on, I want y'all to
leaving the women, children.
I want
thank you.
A big shout out to him. Everybody go check his channel out.
Do you understand how a nation is destroyed? By getting rid of the men, leaving the women, children, and elderly vulnerable. How does one get rid of men, you ask? Dehumanizing, degrading, stripping them of their lack of resources, which affects the ability to provide. Violation of everything that man believes makes him a man. Final step is to rid him of the one thing that he has left, the only thing that he could depend on and build him up. His woman who has felt her man's pain, held him while he licked his wounds, preparing him and being his incentive to fight another day. His woman is now getting the opportunities that he can't get, and her experiences are not the same as the ones he described to her. After a while, she starts to buy into the false narrative that was created about him. So no longer does she uplift and support him because she feels, if I could do it, you could do it too. She starts to measure her man by the example of other men of other nations, and she starts to resent him. Her words are used as weapons against him, and her once nurturing and caring tone is now filled with venom, and they're like punches to his gut. She no longer respects him. Now, his woman is advocating with the masses that her man is worthless. Those are daggers to his heart. He is officially alone, prey, ready to be slaughtered, and his woman is handing him over on a silver platter. What the woman doesn't understand is that she's a pawn. She's so caught up in living her best life, she doesn't realize that she is now vulnerable. The same tactics that were used to destroy her man will be used against her, and she will be replaced. Look around you. The pieces are already being put in place.
Because what we're seeing
Hold on. All right. I'm sorry about that. Big shout out to Alan. Alan down in Sabaneta, right outside Medellin, who just opened 2 businesses. I want to give a big, huge shout out to Alan. In the building. To Ren and Blue to Blue to Globe. I know who you are. That's my man Jay in the building. In the building. Hey, and I'm gonna get on this little quick tangent, man. I want to thank all of y'all for the love and support. But if y'all got a chance to watch that video, our brother Kevin Samuels, peace to the Godfather, said that winter was coming. He said that winter was coming. That's exactly what winter was coming. And by winter, you know, he absolutely was sitting there talking about this upcoming crisis, this existential crisis that was going to be facing these women, predominantly black women, you saw the stats for yourself. See, because statistics are kryptonite to some of these women. Facts, accountability are kryptonite. You know, I don't care what the CD say. I don't care what Housing and Urban Development says. And again, I'm going to tell you this. I'm the proud product of a strong, intelligent, beautiful black woman. Not just that, but my mama and my grandmama, the reason that I am the man I am today. So it's not, and I got beautiful daughter. I got beautiful black granddaughter. So stop the cap. Stop the cap. Stop the hate. Stop the deflecting.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap. No bullshit, bro.
You see what I'm saying? Just stop the cap. What I'm talking about here, and let me be honest with y'all. Let me tell you what hurt me when I saw that. Regardless of the way that some of these hyenas then gone out here and attack me, the community, these sisters attack me, call me all kinds of names. Call my lady a SEX slave, dirt foot B, and all of this other stuff. Because all they can do is shame, insult, and guilt. Hey, fellas, the reality is we all gonna know a woman. If they say 1 in 4 black women are at risk of being evicted, then we all know, or there's a high probability that we gonna know one of these women that's getting their stuff thrown out on the street. That affects our community. I don't never want to see our community like that. But let me tell you this. If you disrespect me continuously, because let me tell you something, and this is something that Dennis Sperling, big shout out to I see your comment, Ren. A big shout out to, you know, Dennis Sperling, Uncle D. And Beautiful Eyes, El Guapo. Y'all know who I'm talking about. If you threaten me, I'm going to take that threat seriously. I'm not going to let it just go by. It's so sad that many of the times that a black man first heard that he was dirty and no good and trifling and wasn't nothing came from a woman within his own family. It came from a woman within your own family. It came from your grandmama, your aunties, or even your mama who said that you were no good. And for 40 plus years, we've heard, you ain't no good. You ain't no good. Black man ain't no good. Blah, blah, blah. I can do it on my own. I'm going to be independent. I can handle this. Well, you know what? Winter has arrived. Winter has arrived. And let me go ahead and hit on Ren's comment real quick because it ties in. And Ren said, as a musician, have a studio in my house. How is it that I survived the pandemic without any gigs, clients for a year, and the most so-called educated? Bruh. Ren, I got to give. You get the Law and Order and the explosion. You just said a mouthful right now. Because ladies, women, all of these women with these degrees, first of all, let me clear up some misconceptions. And I'm not talking about feelings, y'all. I'm talking about facts. When it comes to STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math, you got Title IX at colleges, which is cutting out male sports programs, redirecting that money toward female programs and trying to pay them and encourage them to go into STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math, because the average woman, and and that includes black women, go into humanities. They don't go into technology and engineering. They're not the ones building the houses. They're not the ones building the skyscrapers. They want to be the speech pathologists. They want to be the psychologists. And I'm not knocking that. They want to be the therapists. So she ends up, because the degree is important, right? You got to get your degree. before you get your husband. See, Becky, on the other hand, is engaged while she's in college. So her and her future husband gonna get married upon graduation. So she is at graduation with her ring. She's at graduation with her engagement ring on. Right? She's at graduation with her engagement ring. Because now, even if they do have student loans, she's not going to have to fight that battle by herself. She's not going to have to fight that battle by herself. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to show y'all. Here we go.
Graduation, engaged. And the question came up, well, why is there not the reality for black women? I know y'all not going to like what I got to say, but you know me, I'm going to say it anyways. First and foremost, black women are above reproach. If it don't validate us or excuse our bad behavior, we don't want to hear it. Instead, we'll say, well, men do it too. Secondly, we'll find every excuse in the world to validate why we don't want to be married or why we don't want to be in a relationship. Well, they get cheated on. Well, they do this. Well, they do that. But then we have all these standards for men, and we're still actively seeking for men in the midst of our hurt while inadvertently telling them to go to therapy. We do not practice what we preach. Thirdly, the independent woman is a myth. Actually cared about being independent and it was something that made you happy, you would not have all these standards to negate your independence. Nobody wants to relinquish power. We'll find every excuse in the world to not be submissive and wonder why white women can get away with their bad behavior. We take everything bad from white women, except for the fact using marriage to our own benefit. But you'll run to the child support office, though. Equality against men, and the only time we actually want to be equal to men is when it comes to degenerate behavior, hypersexuality, abusing or abandoning children. Even when it comes to the gold digger conversation, what you don't see those other women do, even when they are just screwing men for money, is bashing men, inadvertently making men feel like they're not important. Also, too, telling them that they don't need men. Psychologically, we have been taught to disassociate ourselves, and even in that Malcolm X quote where he says the black woman is the most disrespected, he also says to be near your man. Because who taught you to hate the very race that you're supposed to be with?
Gentlemen. I couldn't have said it better. And let me get to these comments before I keep running my mouth. First of all, to my man Eric. Eric, thanks a lot for the $10 super chat, bruh. Thank you so much to my man Eric.
Again.
Thank you so much.
Oh,
thank you up in Alaska.
Go again.
Thank you so much, Eric. I truly appreciate that. And let me get to this to my man, Mr. Kareem 75X. She gets that diploma exactly. And I got a video for that. I'm gonna bring that comment right back. I got a video for that. I got a video for everything. It puts most educated in quotes because statistically more Beckys have degrees than black women. Listen, bro, they're the most enrolled. Black women are not the most graduated. They're the most enrolled. Tell the truth. Shame the devil, as they say. Absolutely. Hey, to my man Kareem, I want you to hear this. I'm gonna add this to the stream.
Needs of black women.
Fair use.
Actually, with black women, it's more along the lines of financial greed. And I'm going to use every single ex, or at least the past 4 as an example. So comfortable enough to
see. Hold on. This sister was basically, and I think I got the wrong video. Y'all got to excuse me, but this sister was basically saying that once she gets educated, it lowers her pool of available men because they're not on her level. They're not on her level.
What the hell is wrong with you? What the hell is wrong with you?
So that's what she was saying. And see, now that you got $230,000 in student loan debt, my man Kevin 3905 in the building. Now that you got student loan debt, Kevin 3905, Albany in the building. I gotta give a shout out to my man down in Albany. White women graduating to marriage, black graduating to independence. Oh, Benny in the house. Absolutely. Man, glad to see you here. You're right. See, because in the end of it, the white woman introduced feminism and pushed feminism because she wanted to get part of the white man's resources. She never said that she didn't need him. She never said that she was going to abandon him. See, her feminism was bad enough, but the feminism didn't get to the toxic level because the sister took it and ran with it. Now she don't need you, but hold on, y'all. Hold on. I got a question. I have a question for the chat. And you might say,
what?
Yeah, I got a question. Now that the sheriff is going to start showing up at people's doors and throwing their proverbial ish out in the street, their sugar honey iced tea out in the street, and you're going to have, unfortunately, you're going to have all these poor black babies out there crying while they throwing their stuff in the street. How many brothers in this room that ain't married going to be getting a phone call from your ex? Huh? How many of y'all going to be getting that phone call? How many of y'all going to be getting that phone call? How many of y'all going to be getting that phone call saying, hey, baby, you know, how you doing? Huh? How you doing? Can I get back in? Huh? Blue the Globe, you know, you down there building, you know, you building big things. You building big houses, you know, Mr. General Contractor, my man down there building houses down there in the bottom. Huh? Jairus, you know, how many of your girlfriends gonna be wanting to come back and break some bread? You know, Alan, you gonna be letting them come up and stay in the condo? My man R Jizzle, thanks a lot for the $5 super chat, man. I truly appreciate it. Thank you, R Jizzle, every night for coming in. I really do, bro. Thanks for the support. But how many of these women gonna be coming back? I'm with you. I'm with you. I am with you, Ren.
Hell no. No. Hell no.
That would be my answer. How many of y'all gonna be doing? How many of y'all gonna be doing that? How many? Because you know what though, it's about to be simp season. The simps are about to flourish. Let's give a shout out to all the simps, huh? Let's give a shout out to all the simps because right now, here's your opportunity. Mother Goddess, Mr. Simp Chip. What's up, Rodney? Rodney Davis in the building. You know what I'm saying? Rodney Davis, thank you for joining. My man, Coach Lamont, none of them, but that's good because we are gone. Absolutely. Absolutely. Get your passport and bounce. That's crazy high amounts. Exactly, Mulatto Vanguard. Much love to you as always for being in the building because now it's going to be simp season. Now it's going to be all of them brothers that have been lingering around trying to get a little bit of, get his thing done. You know, he might actually get some now. She might be desperate enough because she doesn't have a place to stay. She might go ahead and break the brother off. Thanks a lot, Mulatto. Y'all hit the like button, man. Get the likes up, please, please, please. Let's get the algorithm. Thanks a lot, Mulatto. Good looking out, man. I'm new to this. Sisters better stay independent. I remember 6 years ago, old black woman I dealt with on Section 8 talking about exactly. How you on Section 8? How you living off Zaddy? Hey, let me tell you something. My man R Jizzle brings up a good point. They're gonna be looking to get swole up. Cause then you gonna leave your baby out? She gonna want that rent baby. She gonna want that anchor baby. You know what I'm saying? Thanks a lot. Please get the likes up and share the stream. Because what I'm talking about here tonight is real. This is what's happening right now. See, because this subject speaks on so much. I had my man Jim ask me, because we were talking about golf yesterday, what my stream was about. And I said, listen, I'm all about brothers exploring their options and living a much better, healthier life, no matter where you are. See, I didn't get caught up. I spoke about it. I did a show about it. You know, yeah, that's right, brothers. Strap up, strap up. We're going back to the old days. They keep, yeah. Anchor babies, exactly. They gonna want that rent baby so she can guilt you into keeping a roof over her and another dude's kids. Yeah, Eric. Like I said earlier in the show before you came on, I'm not gloating. I'm just speaking my, now I hate that term, my truth. I'm speaking the truth as is backed up by the statistics and what we see. You understand? My thing is this. They're going to want to come back now. That independency was a fallacy. But listen, let me show you why I have little or no sympathy. This is why. And I'm not going to play the whole clip, but fair use, y'all, fair use. Let me make sure I don't get no strikes here. Fair use. But I'm going to play this clip because these, as it says in the Man Code book, chapter 3, verse 21, she listens to her fellow she-heathen that leads her astray. And this is one of the fellow she-heathen.
And of course, the Dusties took it and ran with it. They were so excited that women were being put out in the streets with the...
See, the Dusties. The Dusties. Shame, insults, guilt, the need to be right. Now, she's sitting there saying that the statistics you just saw, 6.8% of black women are getting evicted. She's saying that that's not true. This is what she's sharing with the fellow she-heathens, the community, the hyenas.
The children that they abandoned.
See,
so I decided to look into it myself because I know that they do not know how to read graphs. And I also know that systemic racism may have been a part of that. So let's just have a look at exactly what they were gloating about. So first and foremost, we can easily see that I think that's UW, I think that's University of Washington study.
Is she dead wrong?
Gender disparities in evictions. So first of all, the study that they seen was specific to Washington State, okay? It wasn't even specific to the rest of the US. But the part that they conveniently left out is it says that eviction rates among Black and Latino adults are almost 7 times higher than for white adults. So they didn't mention the Latinas getting kicked out. They only...
Hey, listen, how ignorant do you have to be that even if what she's saying is right, that whatever black man she's talking about didn't mention Latinos, it still says almost 7 times higher than for white adults. So now the deflection is going to be selective. Well, he's saying that black women are getting kicked out, but he ain't mentioned the Latina women. Well, you still getting kicked out. You still getting kicked out. How you trying to make a point that, you didn't mention that the Latinas are getting kicked out too after you just said the stats was wrong? Why don't you go somewhere and be quiet? Why don't you just hurt?
You mentioned they own women getting kicked out because, what fun is it if other races are getting kicked out too? It's only fun if black women are getting kicked out. And then the study also found out that most of King County's eviction filings, which is where they got the information from, were households of color. And it says
1,000 evictions last
and check this out, y'all. I want y'all to hear.
She's trying to say, the most evicted only occurred in one city or one state or something. But as you see, I just posted the video that showed that it was nationwide. The other thing is the reason why it became more prevalent in the past year is because it was the first time they actually had the data nationwide on evictions, because that was
all right, y'all. I'm not gonna get all but I want y'all. Let me get these comments, y'all. Please smash the likes, man. Yeah, Dusty is a code. We've heard it all before. Sorry, I'm so indifferent to these old. Hey, bruh. You have said a mouthful there. Eric, black woman laid claim to be the head coach of the team, and what happens to the team? Exactly. When the team loses, they out. Yeah, it's sad. Mr. A. Donis Bagby, thanks a lot for coming. That baby about to give her some major benefits. But you know what? I am so glad to see brothers come together in one place so we can chat. Let's bring up Zaddy, right? See, because the divestors were the ones, we were Dusty, we were Crusty, so she gonna go to Zaddy. The grass is greener on the other side. I want to go to I want to go to Chad and Brad without realizing Chad having his jungle fever moment. Chad going through a phase. Because at the end of the day, Chad is going to want that inheritance from grandma and grandpa and mom and dad. And he can't bring no Quintavius's and Lakeisha's mixed racial, biracial kids to the family reunion because the grandkids don't carry on Zaddy's legacy. Right? They don't carry on that legacy. So he's going to have fun with it. Right? Eric, you're absolutely correct, but I don't want to get struck, but you're absolutely correct. And I'm not going to dismiss your comment. Eric just made a comment of where I'm getting to at this point. Right? So big shout out to my man, Eric. So the divestors leave that part because I've seen the divestor videos where they come back after Zaddy done put their ass out. After Zaddy done kicked them to the curb. And now they come crawling back because like my stepfather used to tell me, the grass always look green on the other side until you realize what it's fertilized with. That's why the grass looks. But back to Zaddy, right? Zaddy, what my man Eric just said, and I'm sure I can post a comment as long as I don't say it, but I'm gonna post it to this is what Zaddy did. Can everybody read that comment? It says further on in that video that I showed that the billions of dollars that was being used to subsidize the housing, right? For all of these sisters in the community that was saying that they were independent. All of that money is being, or a large majority of that money is being reallocated to help give aid to a country we're all familiar with that starts with the letter uniform. They're having a bit of a conflict with another country. That money is being, so far the United States has donated billions in aid, humanitarian aid and military aid to whatever, and cool with that. That's on them. But what they're saying is we're going to take care of our own first. Right? And that's why I love this comment right here from my man. Yeah, Skeet and Skedaddle. Absolutely love it. Skeet and Skedaddle. Like my man said, if only for one night. The fat out of shape Luther used to sing that. That's one that I like. Exactly. Billions. Double-digit billions close to, we're going to be at $1 trillion soon. You know, Zaddy ain't gonna put his people out. Exactly, Ren. That was my point. He not gonna let, whether she's on American soil or not, that woman that looks like him and his daughters and his mom and his sisters, he gonna make sure she got a roof over her head. They even said it in the press conference. We want to make sure that these people got money in their pockets and they're able to survive. But in the meantime, who's getting kicked out in the street? The community. And like I say it here to the, to anybody that wants to hear, to every brother that's under the sound of my voice or watches this, you better strap up, wrap up, because they coming knocking on your door, brothers. See, all of a sudden, the 6 feet tall, 6 figures, he got to have this. He got to drive that. He got to look this way. He can't have this. See, I slept in my car before. I had no place to sleep before. I've been to the soup kitchen before. Absolutely. And you know what? What welfare did also, it made the black woman have to make a choice. Am I going to go with the government or am I going to stick it out with my man? And she chose the government. Like I said on my live the other night, I never believed that welfare was supposed to be generational. Right? When I was in Germany, this is back in the early 80s, right? The way welfare worked in Germany was a woman comes in for welfare and Germany says, hey, we'll take care of your housing, your food, your kids for a set amount of time. For a set amount of time. So for 2 years, you're going to get aid from the government. Now, within those 2 years, you either need to get or finish your education or get a vocation or a job, but we cutting them benefits off. America allowed welfare to be generational. See, welfare, brothers, is like having your mother-in-law come stay over. If my woman said, hey, man, my mama want to come stay with us for a while, you know what my first question is? Do you want to know what my first question is to her? It's going to be, baby, when is she leaving? When is she getting out of here? I need a start date, I need a check-in date, and I need a check-out date. That's what I need. Hey, my man, Brooklyn the Kid in the building. Much love to Brooklyn the Kid in the building, man. Brooklyn the Kid in the building. You're right. When is she leaving? See, Section 8 WIC food stamps. Zaddy had them on the dole. He said, don't forget about interest rates going up and they trying to do away with cash. They don't have the financial literacy or ability to survive in this post-pandemic economy. They just don't have it. They're saying 1 in 4, 25% of black women are going to be evicted. Now, just like the lady in the video, the she heathen in the video going to sit back and tell her girlfriend, girl, don't believe in facts. Don't believe in black men. She going to believe in when she's sitting outside on them streets. She going to believe it when they throwing that them damn curling irons. And they throwing that, all them dirty, dusty ass chest of drawers out there. She gonna believe that shit then.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap. No bullshit, bro.
You know what I'm saying? She gonna believe it then. And see, and the thing about it for me is, I want y'all to think about this when it comes to this eviction thing. How many brothers in here got rental properties? How many brothers in here have been forced throughout the entire pandemic? Or how many landlords, not just the people in this room, have been forced to have their houses being occupied without getting no money back? And not just that, but they're tearing your house up. They're tearing your house up. You're right. The average brother does pay rent ahead. The only mother-in-law that can stay, absolutely. She can stay all the time. Hey, KS told them they did not heed the warning. And KS also told brothers to invest in yourself. He said sometimes it's not selling out when you invest in yourself. It's not selling out. You're not leaving a black woman behind. You putting yourself first. It's okay to be selfish sometimes. You know, I don't want to see my brothers out here having heart attacks, because you'll never win an argument with an angry black woman. You'll never win it. You'll stretch yourself out. And where do you get the peace? I'm telling you, because I've been there. Because I had to go to work all goddamn day so she could stay home and not go shopping. The house is torn up when I get home. I'm stressed out. That's why brothers are having strokes in their 40s, heart attacks in their 40s. My Cambodian woman asked me today when she watched the video, and I love it because she doesn't have a full grasp of the English language, but she makes it clear. Like, for instance, she'll say, baby, I cook your food upstairs. I said, baby, me and you are upstairs. She said, that's what I said, the food upstairs. I said, you mean the food is downstairs? Yeah, that's what I said. But I think that's cute. But you know what she asked me today? She said, baby, why black woman don't cook for you? Why black woman no love you? You good man. It really made me think. Yeah, the middle class, you rich or you poor, or you ultra wealthy. She'll believe, you know what? Because the black woman wants to hear what she wants to hear. To hell with the facts. And she doesn't want to be held accountable. Yeah, but they had the choice. That's what I said earlier. But now they're going to come back to you. Rodney Davis, self-preservation. Go where you find appreciation, you find respect, you're welcomed, and you're loved. I'd rather be respected than loved. I don't know about y'all. That's just me. I'd rather be respected than loved. You know, I even have women that are good friends of mine that are, I'm 52, they're around my age or younger. They say, they indirectly tell me, Ed, I really don't like all the, the stuff that you say about, black women on your show because, I don't feel that you're being fair. Well, the statistics back it up. Since I love you, but I really give a frog's fat ass, whether you like it or not. Whether it makes you feel some type of way. It really doesn't matter to me. It's not about your feelings, it's about the facts. And the facts is, brothers, I always have to give my segue. I'm not saying that they're not good women, good black women in the United States that are firm, fit, cooperative, submissive. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that what we see and what we're shown in the prevailing attitudes that are is going down. You got grandmama twerking now. You got grandmama showing her cheeks. You're right. I want respect. You know, you got women showing they daughters how to twerk. It's shameful. It's absolutely shameful, some of the stuff that they're showing. You know, but it's okay. You know, they're going to find a way to justify it. They're going to find a way to justify it. I'm trying to find this video here. But they're trying to find a way to justify it. Because they want, I'm going to go ahead. I'm sending this from, you know, because I got all this IMAX stuff going on. I'm airdropping this video so I can add it. I want to add this. But back to what I was saying. What I'm saying is there is no shame no more. Do y'all remember back in church? I know, at least for me, and I'm dating myself. And I'm dating myself. Absolutely. I'm dating myself. Do y'all remember when they had like the sinner's pew, that first pew right in front of the pastor? And if a sister came in there with the little short skirt she had on from the night before, you had one of the mothers of the church that would come up there and throw that cover over her legs because it wasn't appropriate. You're absolutely right. And I see you, Brooklyn kid. Shame did keep people in check. But you know what else about it, Mr. Bagby, Donis Bagby? You can't shame me unless I care what you think. If my mother was to say, Ed, I don't like your show, I don't like what you were saying, she could shame me. Do y'all remember when your mama started whooping your behind and she turned around and said, I'm so disappointed in you, how much that hurt you more than any whooping you could ever get? That's how shame worked. That's how shame worked. But see, now these women are trying to use shame to make you feel guilty, to make you feel less than, so you can accept unacceptable behavior. It's not the same context. To my man, Brooklyn the Kid, I saw somewhere this young lady said she gets up at 7 o'clock in the morning to call her man to ruin. Man, that's what?
What the hell is wrong with you?
What is wrong with you? Eric says, earlier this week, black woman was checking me at the courthouse. I work security. She sees my S550, asks me how much I make. Yeah, why is it her business? Class went out the window years ago. You're absolutely correct. You know what? And class is something that you can't buy. Your red bottoms, your purses, your BBLs, your fake tatas ain't gonna buy you no class. I mean, it doesn't matter. So, yeah, it is. Say that to me. Yeah, the disappointment hurts more. You can't shame somebody. You can't shame somebody who I mean, how are you gonna shame somebody who you? Let me see if this is the video. I want to see this because this was. Looking at
ourselves in blackface and identifying with the lowest common denominator in our society.
Me and my sister, we got shout out to this comedian. But I want y'all to
with the lowest common denominator in our society.
Suki, me and my sister, we got something to say. Cause y'all got us fucked up.
We finna take over the world. We finna be performing at the BET Awards, the Oscars, Planet Fitness,
Popeyes,
Planned Parenthood, and
she say
they give me
Popeyes.
free Plan B pills at the motherfucker. We gonna get them Plan Bs, honey packets,
honey packs,
and you said bundles to our
bundles
to our fans.
Condoms, cause we can't be raw dogging these niggas this year. We not getting pregnant. We not catching no STDs
I'm
for
not
y'all this
gonna
year.
have
Not
no
this
more,
year.
Not this.
I'm not going to no more
year,
doctors for
bitch.
your ass, nigga.
And I'm not having no much more kids because I have 3 kids.
No more yeast infections.
No more.
None of that.
You see what I mean? Do you see what I mean? Do you see what I mean? That was cringeworthy. You're absolutely correct. That was cringeworthy. But see, that's accepted. To my man Kevin in Albany. I feel ashamed for them. I mean, but Kevin, let me ask you a question. Kevin. What do you think the mamas look like? What do you think the mamas look like that produced that? Those two young ladies sat there and talked about STDs, the Plan B pill. I'm not having no more unprotected sex because I already got 3 babies. As if it's like a little ratchet starter pack that they walking around with. That's the answer, gentlemen. That's your key to freedom. That's your key to freedom. That's your key to freedom. That little blue book. They're about to be sweating blue cock out they used to. Yeah, prime military, 82nd Airborne Division. My people in the 80 dudes, big shout out. Not just that, but anybody that served. Thank you for your service. Absolutely. Right? You right. Purple weave, Mr. Kareem. Baby kids all over the place. Oh, I heard that, Kevin. She said she's not going to get STDs this year.
Damn!
This year. Exactly. When we saw that movie Baps, we thought they were playing. But were they conditioning us? Were they warning us? It's almost like, does everybody remember when Independence Day hit and Will Smith, was there? Oh, which makes me think about something related to this. Man, and I'll get back. Were they desensitizing us to the fact that they already knew that they had aliens here on Earth? Was that movie was to get us ready? So was BAP supposed to be showing us the same thing? Big shout out to my Navy brothers. Mr. Kareem, salute. Thank you for your service, man. Thank you so much for your service. Hey, another Navy deep up in here tonight. Deep up in there to Mr. Donis Bagby. Thank you for your service, man. We all brothers. And Ronnie Davis says again, I say strap up, bros, because listen, man, they're going to be desperate. They're going to be desperate. They already are desperate. KS tried to tell them winter was coming. Coach Amon say these strags are sexually pathogen carriers, bro. Hey, listen, bro. And I'm gonna give some real reality about this. And I'm just gonna be honest. Passport Bros has been trending in the algorithms, all the major social media platforms, including this one. Because there's some real realities about Passport Bros. And I'm talking about irregardless of color. Right? If you've got the money to afford to travel overseas, let's get over the amount of money it costs to get a passport. All right? You got the money to get the ticket. You got the money to pay for your lodging at the destination you arrive to. Big shout out to my man Jarius. We done told some things up. If you can afford that, if you can afford the transportation from the airport, you can afford the Airbnb, the rental, the hotel, the tours, the excursions, the food, any other extracurricular activity you have to, and still have emergency money set aside? Answer a question for me. How on God's green earth can you be broke? How? It doesn't compute. It doesn't compute. Thanks a lot, Coach Lamont. That means a lot. I really appreciate it, brother. I'm just trying to be honest about it. I'm trying to be practical and pragmatic. I'm telling you where it comes from me. I love to wake up in a new country smelling new air. I love walking around sometimes being the only brother in that area. You know, I remember being in Portugal. You're right, Kevin. They feel that we broke. Right. And Donnie said, I told my sons, don't have kids until they get married, they didn't listen, which they don't. My sons didn't listen to. Both of them got kids, and they're both under 36. Yeah. You can't be broke. There are no dusty travelers with a passport. Shame, insults, guilt, and the need to be right, Kevin. That's what it is. I remember walking in Lisbon, Portugal. I had never been there before. I had never been to Portugal. I didn't speak Portuguese. I did some research online. I said, you know what? I can get a ticket there. I flew to Lisbon. They had Uber, which made it easy. Take me to my little, and I rented an apartment. Right? I rented an apartment in one of the, wasn't the tourist area. I was with the Portuguese people. Alfama district. The Alfama district. I rented an apartment there. And I used to just leave my apartment, brothers, and I used to just walk down these cobblestone streets where bricks on those streets are older than the United States. These bricks are thousands of years old. And every now and then I see a brother and I do this. We smile at each other. Because you know what I automatically knew? We were like-minded. And this goes out, and this particular comment goes out to my man, Alan, Osito, Rob. If you ever down in Medellin, Colombia, big shout out to Rob, the staff, the crew, the family at Sweet Georgia Cafe on Calle Nueve, near El Poblado, in El Poblado. Go check them out. But this is where I got to give a shout out about that. I found out that I had a lot in common with those brothers. And then once I sat down and talked to them, I figured out we were usually prime military, because that's a huge segue into the Passport Bros movement. I remember when I joined the Army, I didn't even have a passport. I could travel on my military ID card. And my first sergeant in Germany said, look, okay, that's all good, but go down and get a passport so they don't automatically know that you're military. So a lot of us were indoctrinated into international travel through the military. But nothing changes your mind or changes your view or your perspective on life than leaving America, leaving those 20 blocks that you grew up in, going to a country where you don't speak the language. The food is different. The people are different. Everything is different. And you find out that, damn, I like this. Certain things are strange. I can't rock with that, but damn, I like this. I grew up in the Los Angeles area. Dude, there were 3 gangs, the B's, the C's, and LAPD. But when I was in Portugal, I wasn't worried about no police car rolling up on me. I wasn't worried about no drive-by. I didn't have to worry about what color I was wearing. And not just that, but then the military also taught me that I could get along with white people, black people, Asian people. It didn't matter. The only thing I asked the guys on my team were, do you have my 6? Do you have my 6? Do you have my back? And I'm pretty sure that, you know, all of y'all that worked on that ship or that frigate or that destroyer, that, you know, that aircraft carrier, that y'all had to work as a team. It teaches you how to work as a team, and it teaches you how to be responsible and accountable. And that's what a lot of these sisters in the community lack accountability. It's kryptonite to them. And to them, the only way they can deal with their shortcomings, with what they don't like, is to blame it on us. Everything is our fault. You know, the other day, me and my lady, and I'll show this because it's a short ass video. But the other day, me and my lady, you know, I live here in Siem Reap, Cambodia. I've lived here for 5 years. And if you guys don't know, Siem Reap, Cambodia is the home of Angkor Wat. And Angkor Wat is the world's, you know, these are temples. And there are thousands of temples, right? But these temples were built in the 11th and 12th century. And I'm going to get back to the point. But I want to show y'all something about accountability. Now, this is me and my lady. You know, that the handsome one right there with the 82nd Airborne Division hat on, you know, that's me. And that's my lady Simp. And we're going to a temple called Tay Som Temple inside the Angkor Archaeological Park. So we're stopping now at the ticket control. And what's funny about that is that if you're Cambodian,
a quick little video.
If you're Khmer, you can get in for free. You don't need a ticket. See, I have to have a ticket, and I'll get into that later. But I have a yearly pass, so I can go in as much as I want for the whole year. But when I got up to the ticket counter, you know, of course, my man Sewer is Khmer, my lady's Khmer. He looked at me, and I looked at him, and he said, "Can I see your ticket?" I said, "Man, I don't need no ticket." I said, "I'm Cambodian." I said, "I can even speak Khmer." I said, "Yum yo Khmer titi," which means I can speak a little Khmer. And he just started laughing, had the biggest smile. And I showed him my ticket. But he was cool as hell with it.
About the tour we took out to
this was built
Temple of Ta Som.
This is Ta Som Temple.
Eastern end of the northern Barai.
Yeah, but I'm going to tell you why I'm playing this video.
At the end of the 12th century.
And it was a beautiful morning. It was a Friday morning. It was sunny and beautiful.
Little is known about the history and the purpose of Ta Som, but it was in the 7th father.
You know, and this is
or maybe
it's a little temple outside the main park.
Small compared to the many other temples.
There are literally thousands of them.
And why this temple matters.
And all of this is hand built. There's not any cement. There's no mortar.
By a lot of the bigger temples.
But I'm going to show y'all. I'm going to pause the video to show you.
I actually love the way.
What I talk about when it comes to being realistic and accountable.
Fir tree is at the
right, and this is the reason why I went to that temple. I saw this on a YouTube video.
And it's a quick little easy ride.
Okay, I'm going to stop right there. Do y'all see this little robust area right here in the middle, right under the words free Tibet? See, looks like I'm in my second trimester. Not like that little flat belly Khmer dude that's next to me. I know I need to hit the gym.
Some other very nice temples like Prai Khan.
I know that I need to hit the gym. I
just wanted to make a quick video about our trip out there.
You know, that's me and her outside. But I know I need to hit the gym. So that's why when Kevin Samuels used to ask them and got, you know, RIP to the Godfather, that's when Kevin Samuels used to ask them, what's your height? What's your weight? What's your dress size? Now, and how would you rank yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 and 7 is not an option? Now she got to look at herself. She got to be accountable. She ain't going to tell the truth. Because to be honest with you, let me tell you what I saw. Let me tell you what I heard. Whenever Kevin Samuels used to ask them height, weight, dress size, this was their first response. Excuse me? Could you repeat that? I didn't hear you, Kevin. You heard him. You heard him. And then you see them roll their eyes in the back of their head for a minute while they trying to come up with a lot. Because she doesn't love herself. I just showed y'all a video that was showing off that keg I got. I ain't got no six-pack. I got a little baby keg. But let me tell you the difference between men and women. I could be going out. You know, I could be hanging out with Ren or Kevin down there in Albany or Donis or Rodney or Coach Lamont. I could be hanging out, you know, especially Brooklyn Kid or Mr. Kareem and, you know, all these people. Or Eric, and then we walk into a club and everybody checking for one of them. I already know that I'm not the sexiest dude in there. In my mind, I am. See, men can be honest with themselves. Thanks a lot, Ronnie. I'm putting up even more. I mean, there's so many temples. I got so much video. It is unbelievable. Yeah. I was the only black dude there until I went for a walk in the Philippines. Yeah, because they used to have the military bases. If you go, 2 hours north of Manila up to Angeles, Subic Bay, that whole area where Clark was, and now they about to be reopened, Brooklyn Kid. You heard about that, right? That because of the tensions going on in the South China Sea, U.S. is bringing bases back to the Philippines. But the point is, men can be pragmatic for the most part. But see, these sisters couldn't be even honest with themselves. They lacked the accountability. And all Kevin Samuels did was hold a mirror up to their faces. And as it stands, see, they even got Angkor Wat on this Cambodian Coca-Cola. But they even got Angkor Wat not only on their flag, but even on their libations. But they absolutely refuse to take accountability. Hey, bruh, Donis, man, I love having you in here. And let me tell you something. I'm not one of those kind of toxic masculinity guys. There's absolutely nothing wrong with a brother saying to another brother, I love you, man. Take care of yourself. Stay up. If you need anything, call me. Don't let nobody shame you, make you feel like you got something to prove. Right? Me and my man from Albany chat all the time. We chat about things that we don't necessarily agree about, but we always start off the conversation with, Kevin, I love you, man. All right, Ed, I love you. Kevin is out there. He's driving trucks. He's on the road. Kevin hits me up. Hey, man, I'm going to catch your show. Keep an eye out. Make sure you post it early so I know where it is. And the first thing I tell Kevin is, hey, man, how are you? How is your family? When you get out there on the road tonight, bruh, I love you, man. Take care of yourself. Because we already got enough shit against us that we don't need us against us. Oh, yeah, the new thing now is, it's a Europe. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. You know what? You know what being fit is? Do you know what being fit is? Being fit is that I don't want to die of hypertension and get diabetes. I want to, there's a high propensity of colon cancer within the black men and prostate cancer. I was sick last year. Now y'all really about to get me started. I was sick last year. Very sick. ICU for over a week sick. Had to sign my advance directive and who could pull the plug on me. My lady came to me with tears in her eyes. She said, baby, if you stay here, Cambodia doesn't have the medical facilities to treat what you're dealing with. This woman walked up to me, even though I had my own money. She reached deep down from somewhere and handed me $1,000 cash and said, baby, let's get you a plane ticket. Not tomorrow, not the next day. Immediately, let's get you a plane ticket. She said, I'm going to miss you, but I don't want to lose you. So I flew back to the States last year. I was actually literally in the bed, couldn't walk for 2 months. Took me almost 10 months to get nursed back to health before I could come back to Cambodia. And when I was lying in that hospital bed, and I want every brother in here to listen to me, they could have walked in that room and said, Ed, we're going to give you a check right now, $10 million, tax-free. Or do you want 20 more years left on this planet? Same to you, Blue the Globe. Same to you, brother. I love you to pieces, bro. Me and him talk even more than that. Because you dealt with a hell of a and you still dealing with it. And every time I call you, I ask you, how you doing, man? You still dealing with it. No, I got you. Anything you need. I'll be on the next thing smoking down there, the Gator Country, with my Seminole stuff on to take care of you. You know, but the reason why it matters, because the older we get, man, let me tell you what's undefeated. Let me tell you what is undefeated. Father Time. Father Time is undefeated, folks. Father Time is undefeated. And Father Time is kicking them old broads in their behinds right now. See, they used to say black didn't crack, right? See, that's back when we had Dorothy Dandridge. You know, that's back when we had Thelma from Good Time. I ain't even realize how fine she was when I was watching it when I was little. Big shout out to Thelma. You know, that's when we had Dinah Shore. That's when we had Lena Horne. These women that took care of themselves, that carried themselves with class. These old ratchet she-heathens that got the spider glasses, the tons of makeup. This one woman said, I even got put on makeup like that when I'm around my house, in front of my man. If you can't walk around without it, and that takes a toll on your skin, and you're going to get them crow's feet. So now black is starting to crack, folks. Yeah, you're right. Diane Carroll was bad. Yeah, they looking at that car, Eric. You know, no disrespect, boy. They looking at it, that S550. You got the right numbers. I'm just fucking with you. I mean, but it's those women carried themselves with class, bro. Look at the old black exploitation films. You know, with Bill Cosby and Sidney Poitier. Look at those. Look at those. Did you see them sisters in there? Did you see them sisters in them black exploitation films? You see how naturally thin they were? I didn't see no Lizzos. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Hey, Eric, bruh, you wrong for that. Eric, you are wrong for that.
What the hell is wrong with you?
Huh? Every time you saw Pam Grier.
Damn!
Hey, Miss Parker. They were all thin. Mulatto Vanguard, my mom sent me photos last year of her wedding to my dad. Every bridesmaid was thin. Everybody was thin. When they sit back in, you know, all of this body shaming shit. Yeah. Come on in, young buck. We here. We dropping knowledge today. And see, See, that's why you got brothers right here, like my man Donis. He said, Uptown Saturday Night, Madam Zenobia. See, you can learn from him. Hit him up. Go look up Madam Zenobia. Go look up Uptown Saturday Night. Sweet caramel skin, natural brown hair. Hey, man, I didn't want to say it, but I'll let you say it. Everybody can read it for themselves. Pam Grier. See, I did a whole video on Lizzo pulling her pants down in Paris. Right? Why do you have to do that? Lola Falana, hey, bro, hey, man, they have no idea. They have no idea, Ren, who Lola Falana is. But I did a video where I said, why was it necessary for her to do that? You know what? You know the pushback I got back from the community? Dog, they were like, well, she got money. And don't be body shaming her. I said, I'm not body shaming. Oh, yeah, Lena Horne was in there too. I said, I'm not body shaming Lizzo. First of all, I don't want to see her pants down. I definitely don't. Hey, how about this, y'all? How about the Ohio Players album cover? Huh? How about the Ohio Players? Donna Summer, y'all keep coming up with them. Yeah, Fred Sanford was crazy about Lena Horne. See that all of this body shaming crap is because they don't want to take lack of accountability. In other words, hey fellas, listen to me. This is what the community told me. I was at the She Heathen meeting, and this is what they told me. Y'all don't have a choice but to deal with a fat girl. 5'3", 280 to 325. Y'all have no other option. Y'all have no other options. I just want to be free, Eric. I just want to be free. And oh my goodness. Woo. Shaka Khan. Shaka, oh my goodness. But these women now, I don't want to go to the gym because it's going to sweat my hair out. And then there's one sister, I can't find a video right now, but they said, why don't you go to the gym? You know what her answer was? Do you know what her answer was? I'll only go to the gym if he pay for it. You want me to be thin, you better take me the way I am. Oh, no. Your fat self, and all your stuff going to be sitting right outside on the curb. That's where you're going to be. That's exactly where you're going to be at. Because it makes no sense. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I'm going to show y'all a video that, oh man, I wish I could find it now. But this video to me, out of all the videos that I've watched, I want every brother in here to pay attention to what this guy got to say. Fair use. Fair use, y'all.
I don't care why you masculine.
It don't even matter.
I don't care what happened to you as I'm a 40-year-old man.
You got a daughter?
No, I don't.
Because
but that's not
fair,
the point.
you're
But my
feminine.
point is this. My point is this.
Right.
You all wouldn't care if a man came to you feminine and said, my dad wasn't in my life. My mom didn't teach me this. You say, bro, you're 38 years old. I don't want to deal with a feminine man that hasn't addressed his issues. So for me, dealing with a woman that way, I'm going to tell you the same thing. I understand you had issues or whatever growing up and you had to be a certain way, but I'm not going to put up with it as far as trying to be in a relationship with you because you don't know how to be a feminine woman.
So what's a feminine woman? What's your definition?
A woman that basks in her femininity. She knows how to be submissive to a man. She knows how to speak life into a man. She knows how to nurture. She knows how to take care of a home and take care of kids. She knows how to be accountable. She knows how to be reasonable. She knows how to be understanding when she's dealing with a man and knows which battles to choose when she's dealing with her man.
Bruh. That had to be one of the best videos that I've seen, period, addressing that topic. Had to be. Beyond a shadow of a doubt. Beyond a shadow of a doubt. Daniel J in the building. Welcome, my brother. Daniel J. Good to see you, man. Diabetes. Daniel J. Diabetes. Listen, man. Let me tell you, and I'm going to get off, this whole Lizzo thing in a minute. But Lizzo did a video. And I guess her stick, her niche, is I'm doing it all for the big girls. Right? But in this video, she's riding on the back of a motorcycle with Tyson Beckford driving it. So, you the queen of body positivity. You are the cheerleader for all the big girls. Girls is eating 4, 5, 6 pieces of chicken, washing it down with half gallon of iced tea and chocolate chip ice cream on top of that. Lizzo, you the poster girl for big girls, but you got Tyson Beckford in your video. My question is, why wasn't CeeLo driving the bike? Why didn't you have DJ Khaled driving the bike? Why didn't you have Rick Ross driving the bike if you're all about, being proud that you're fat? You're absolutely right. Checkmate. Exactly. There are no fat guys in the videos, bro. There are no fat guys. She's sitting up there, with all this, and then she got her arms around the guy with a 6-pack. I'm like, what? Not the queen mother goddess. Well, Eric, that's why he in Lizzo's video. That's all you got to say. That speaks for itself. But why can't she have a fat dude in the video with her? I saw a video of a young lady, 23 years old. She was on Kendra G. Shout out to Kendra G. You're the gift that keeps on giving. She's on Kendra G show, and she said, well, girl, what is it that you're looking for? And when they asked them that, Lord, they be pulling out books. Let me pull out my list of everything I'm looking for in a man. Right? And do you know what the first thing she said? The very first thing she said, she asked her, she said, girl, tell me about, she said, I'm 23 years old. You can look at her and tell. You ain't need no Kendra cam. You needed a wide angle lens or a drone or a crane shot. You could tell that she was big. You know what the first thing she said, fellas? This was the first, she said, I need my man to be fit.
What the hell is wrong with you?
She said that she needed her man to be fit. I was like, what? You know what I'm saying? It's unbelievable. It is unbelievable. It's just, you know, now you're gonna shame people into the fact that, you know, I might just sit there and say, sister, you might need to lose some weight because black women too are also one of the leaders in heart disease. My former mother-in-law, rest in peace, Lula Jane, she passed away from heart disease because of their diets, lack of exercise. Now, how many brothers here, my man Jairus can tell you, when we were down in Medellin, you know where you saw some of the finest women were? The gym. Imagine your car seat and love seat so sucking it. Man, y'all got to stop, man. Y'all have got to stop with that. But when I was down in Medellin, Colombia, that's where I saw the biggest, you know, the women were at the gym. Hey, y'all, big, huge shout out to my man Trey. Me and Trey had a live. It was probably me, him, and two other people. And we talked about golf and we talked about that. And you're absolutely right. They about to be mad. And you know, the PGA had to, big shout out to Trey, first of all, for being in the building. And I'm about to drop the link to anybody that wants to come on. Anybody wants to come on. I got a live that's coming up soon where I'm dropping information about a second YouTube channel that's more focused on black men's mental health or mental health in general. That's a lot more focused, not just on travel, but I want to make sure it's right before it comes out. The channel's already built. The channel's already built, and I'm going to be dropping that soon. To my man Kevin says, hey, don't be talking about them wild lows. Hey, bro, you need to back more. Beep, 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 beep. I got you on in. But there's a link if you want to come up. If you want to, you know, show up, you ain't got the cam up. Everybody here good people. I'm not concerned about that. But yeah, Trey. And the thing about it, Trey, back to it real quick. You know, this is some golf stuff with Liv and PJ Wren knows about it. Brooks, every year when I watch the Masters, and I'm about to go on my little golf tangent because I can't help it, especially when Trey in the building. Usually the first 1 or 2 days of the Masters, you have a guy, right, that's in the tournament who like unheard of, you know, in all the talk about who might win. They're going to talk about Tiger. They're going to talk about Dustin Johnson. They're going to talk about Rory. They're going to talk about the usual. But there's always one guy. I see you, Trey. Yeah, you messed up. There's always one guy that comes out of the blue, a guy that you never heard of before. And it might be Thursday and Friday, he's leading the tournament. But then after the cut, when Saturday and Sunday hits, you're going to have one of the major guys. One of the major guys is going to come and he's going to move up the leaderboard because that guy has never handled that type of pressure. But unlike this year, you got Brooks Koepka leading, I think at 12 under. Mulatto Vanguard, my brother, thank you. So, yeah, of course. Hey, look, I'm going to put up an email, and Mulatto Vanguard, thanks for the $2 super chat, man. I really, really appreciate it.
Here we go again.
You know what I'm saying? I really appreciate it.
I'd buy that for $1. I'd buy that for $1.
I definitely will do. See, along with, I do consultations. I played the video before. This is the email address that you can email me at. simpsheretravel@gmail. I do 30-minute Zoom call, which usually turns into 45 once I start running my mouth. And I do 60 minutes. And, you can sit down and ask me anything that you want. Housing, rent, everything. I have an ebook that's being edited right now. That's going to be available for you to go to a website that I have in the works, where you're going to be able to download this ebook, and it's going to tell you all the tourist stuff, all the airport codes, where to book hotels in the major cities. And it's the whole deal. So it takes time to put together that information. So I'm working on that. And I'll meet you you can fly into Siem Reap where I am, or you can fly into the capital city of Phnom Penh. I have drivers in the air-conditioned cars. Tuk-tuks. We can go to the floating village. We can go to Angkor Wat. And then when the night is over, I can really show you what Phnom Penh is about. Give you the bro tour. Again, Mulatto Vanguard. I want to thank you. Yeah, definitely. All of y'all are welcome. Shout out to Augusta. Hey, bro, I was credential media there. I covered the Masters for 10 years. 9 years, 10 close enough. And yeah, everything shuts down. Do you realize that the Dewdrop Inn Hotel, the Mosey Wozy, that's what we used to call it, where you can rent the room for 1 hour? I know none of y'all know about that. And ironically, the name of this little hotel off of Gordon Highway coming down from Fort Gordon in Augusta was named the Masters Inn. Well, you can get a room for like $35, $40 a night, even less than that. But during Masters Week, the cheapest room you can get is like $150 a night. The Holiday Inn is going to be $300. People. There's a gated subdivision in Augusta, the only gated subdivision in Augusta. The only gated subdivision. People move out of their mansions and rent their mansions out to big corporations for corporate hospitality for that week. So shout out to Augusta. Big shout out. I was at Fort Gordon for a while. Let me tell you something. The women in Augusta fine, man. They 2 hours from Atlanta. They don't quite know how fine they are, because if they was in Atlanta, you couldn't holler at them. Hey, that's some little intel. But to my man Trey, the link is in the chat if you see. But people, seriously, I want to let all y'all know, if you ever on this side of the world, or even if you're not, you know how to get in touch with me. There's a website that I built, I think it was last year. Yeah, last year, year before. And I did these videos. I was stuck in the Philippines during the pandemic for 4 months. And I was bored. So what I used to do, I used to just get my iPhone and I used to walk downstairs. And I used to do like a 1-2 minute video every day, like an inspirational video about what I was dealing with and this and that. And then I did videos on depression. I did videos on forgiving yourself, about making mistakes in your life. I even did a video that was called "It's Okay Not to Be Okay," because mental health has been a stigma in the community, at least amongst Black men. And I think that's shameful. We should be able to talk about it openly, honestly, in an environment that's non-judgmental. So I believe it's going to be Monday. I'm going to drop it all. And I would love for you guys to go, not just like, subscribe, help the algorithm on this channel, but that channel for me is called Day in the Flow. Day in the Flow. That's the name of the channel. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and put it up right now. I can pull it up right now. Let me pull it up. You know, I'm trying to use these newfangled computers. It's called Day in the Flow Podcast. Right? Not in the flow, but Day in the Flow Podcast. Right? So I'm gonna go ahead and share this. I'm gonna share this screen. So this is Day in the Flow Podcast. So like I got videos about I'm going back to basic. I talked about it's a little political, but it was a little deeper than that. It was from a veteran's perspective. I talked about, you know, fighting veteran suicide, the Richard Sherman thing. If everybody remembers, the brother played in the NFL that was arrested for, you know, kicking in the door or whatever. And I even did an interview with a Buddhist monk. Very interesting interview I did. He's a Buddhist monk from Australia, but he used to work at the Vatican, and he's gay. So I'll let you think about that on your own. I talked about Naomi Osaka taking the time out because of her mental health, and these two are more about Siem Reap and the restrictions during our lockdowns. I did one on DMX. The Evergreen thing, if y'all remember, the tanker, it wasn't a tanker, but it was a cargo ship that got stuck in the Suez Canal. So I said the Evergreen and finding yourself stuck, how to get unstuck. And here's an interview that I did with my lovely mother, Miss Sarah Armstrong. And then these are other videos I did. Of course, I had to touch on Tiger and his rollover crash. And these are all about expectations, depression, about feeling broken. This is about a food giveaway that I did. In the 4 months that I was in the Philippines, I was giving food away to 10 families a week. And then these are just the instructional, inspirational videos. So that's what, to give you a brief interview. Thanks a lot. Thanks for subbing, man. I truly appreciate it. And you're right, we do need to talk about it. And man, big shout out to Rice Patty Reasons. I'm usually working during your live streams. Finally get to, hey, bruh. Thank you. Thank you so much, man. Thank you. $10. Thank you. And if you guys can go over Rice Patty, I'm taking it that you're in Southeast Asia or you've been to Southeast Asia, but this is what the channel is about. This is what Day in the Flow is about. And then also I have, this is what's under construction right now. Ran into a bit of an issue with my develop, you know, I got people because I'm not smart in all of these areas, but along with that channel, I also have a full-blown website called Day in the Flow. So this is the website. This is Day in the Flow. And on the Day in the Flow site, you know, there's my beautiful face, but I have the same videos. I have the same videos on there. I share the videos, but also I have the monk interviews, the depression, the feeling broken, about expectations and the illusion of control. I also have my podcast. So I have the audio if I've extracted it. If you just want to listen to it, you can't watch it. Also, I have a Day in the Flow blog. And on the blog page is where I've written articles about suffering. About something that I love to draw. I do a little drawing, and this is about lighthouses, about, you know, recovering from things. And then I did a whole article on forgiving yourself. But like I said, I'm gonna show more of that because you know it's one thing. Thanks a lot, Ren. I really appreciate you guys. Let me tell y'all what's hard. And I always use this word and I don't mean it in a like a nasty way. Sometimes you gotta let your pride down. You gotta just suck it up and be real and be honest. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. And I'll share that with you in a minute. It's easy to get caught up in these YouTube streets. And I could sit right here tonight and I could have done a whole video. I could have made more money on the super chats. I could have found something inflammatory, found something that's trending just to get people pissed off. So they're going to come on to my live so I can go back and forth for, man, dude, Obsidian, shout out to Obsidian. Obsidian has done a couple of 7-hour lives. Did y'all hear me? Obsidian did a 7-hour live. 7 hours. Talking about this just pearly things and women in the manosphere, whatever. And I listened to some of it as long as I could. But I digress, but back to what I was saying. What really drives your YouTube channel is your content. At the end of the day, what drives your YouTube channel is your content. I love to share about traveling and experiences for us to chop it up about travel-related things. And to you, Donis, yes, I had a midlife crisis. When I got out of the military, I didn't know what to do. I went through a divorce. I was dealing with substance abuse issues, alcohol issues, divorce, losing my kids, losing my house, going through a divorce, having her take everything, sleeping in my car for a while. Yeah, I felt regret. I felt remorse. I felt bad that I wasn't a better husband. I felt bad that I wasn't a better father to my children, that they deserved better than what I gave them. And I'm just being honest. I was never abusive. I said some awful things, probably, in the clinical terms. I was maybe verbally abusive because I was speaking out of anger and frustration, but I never hit anybody. I didn't want to hurt anybody else. I was suicidal. I had not one, but 2 suicide attempts. I was inpatient on the 4th floor at the Atlanta VA Medical Center. I was on suicide watch. As a matter of fact, I was going to commit suicide in front of the VA. I wanted to show them that they don't give a damn about us after we get out. They had me on 9 different medications. That's all my treatment team wanted to do is keep me drugged up. I'm 52, brother. And Don, let me put my email, and I'm going to put this email. This is my direct email, y'all. Anybody that wants to chop it up about something like this offline, because we don't need to put all our personal details, that is my email. And you email me directly. And I'll exchange my information where you can contact me 24/7 if you need to talk. Before you hurt yourself, before you go out here and make a permanent decision based upon a temporary situation. I'll say that again. Before you make a permanent decision based upon a temporary situation, I would ask you that if you truly love me, if you truly care about me, at least message me. I'm up all night anyway. So your nighttime is my daytime. Right now, it's 11:47. It's almost noon here in Siem Reap, Cambodia. So I'm here. You understand? And Don, I'm telling you, man, I was on the psychiatric ward, bruh. They had me in the foam house shoes. They had an aide walking with me. They had somebody watching me sleep. I felt like the biggest loser in the world. I had nothing. Wife gone, kids gone, house gone. Yeah. Those are some tough times, bro. Those are some tough times. And didn't nobody feel worse about it than me. No one was harder on themselves than I was. And then I had a doctor tell me, shout out to Dr. Telly Kapali. I had a doctor that told me, he said, it's not about medication for you anymore. It's about meditation. And this was on May 25th, 2017. And he wrote these 7 things down on a piece of paper. I got it posted on my wall, and it took me forever to get it to stay. And I don't have a picture, but I'm going to read it to you. Number 1, it said expectations, and it has 2 arrows. Take your expectations down. Brooklyn Kid, happy 63rd birthday, everybody. Big shout out to Brooklyn Kid. Happy 63rd birthday, man. And it sits back and it says, number 2, that I'm a control freak. Well, back to the expectations. The only time we're disappointed is when somebody doesn't live up to our expectations. Then number 2 says control freak. Control is but an illusion. You don't control anything. The only thing that you control is how you respond to what happened. Number 3, he said you got to learn how to let it go. Let it go. Number 4, he said, Ed, you need to stop judging others. He said you might even do it, subconsciously. Within this room tonight, there are a bunch of very smart men. And once you see somebody, you can tell they're not on your intellectual level. Maybe it's the way that you talk to them or the way that you deal with them, but maybe subconsciously you're judging them. He said, so you need to take that down. Number 5, he said, be and live in reality. Number 6, focus, determination, and strive for your goals. And number 7 is be mindful, 24/7, 365. True story, but just another number. We have to rely on each other. If you had to move back to your hometown, most can't relate. Exactly. You're right, Jared. Exactly. All we got is each other. I get invited all the time now that I've been in this space, especially with the Passport Bros thing. I get other content creators that try to get me to come on their platforms to argue back and forth with somebody who don't deserve my time. There was a dude that wanted to come into the chat the other night. Well-known troller, hater of Passport Bros. Let me come on, bro. You can't handle the smoke, blah, blah, blah. You know what I thought to myself? Ed, why should you major in minor people? The brother won't even cam up. You won't even show your face. You're going to come in and hurl insults at brothers that are leaving the United States because they're not finding what they need here. what they're looking for here. My man Jay is down there in Florida busting his ass every day. Served his country. Honorably discharged. Hell, I dealt with my health issues. He's dealing with his. Me and this brother traveled at least 3 different continents together. He my older brother, but he younger than me, but he act like my older brother. Like, hey, come on, man, you tripping. I love him because at least he tell me. But this brother is putting everything together so that he can live outside the U.S. and still take care of his family and run. I mean, why shouldn't you promote that? All these mother God queen simp chip brothers that telling women you a queen, you're a goddess, and they can't handle you. Let me tell y'all something. I am too goddamn old to be trying to argue with an old or even a young woman that's not going to change her ways. When I can go down there to Colombia and hear that chick say, hola, papi, te amo, papi. Oh, man, it's over. It's a wrap. Or go to the Philippines. Hello, Edward. Welcome to the Philippines, Edward. You know what I'm talking about, Jared. That's your spot. But yeah, I want to promote brothers getting a passport and exploring your options. Either tomorrow night or Sunday, I'm doing a show. I don't know whether Alan is on here, but I'm gonna reach out to you. There was this video circulating around about the brother that got jacked in Cartagena. I saw the video. It was in the Passport Bros group where they just rolled up on him and took him for everything he got. But the uptick that has been going on in brothers getting robbed, especially in Colombia. And what I want to do is I want to have Rob, Alan, them, you don't have to cam up, to come on and talk about Don Roberto's World Traveler Facebook group that he has. Rob, if you don't know who he is, Rob, I ain't gonna say his last name, but Rob, he owns a restaurant down in Medellin, restaurant bar, great place to watch college football, NFL football, DJ, karaoke, some of the best wings that I've ever had. Lord knows I ate enough of them. And he also got them mangoes that stop through. And I ain't talking about the fruit. But it's a meeting place. It's a place that you ever in Medellin. It's a place where you can meet like-minded brothers that ain't out there acting all ignorant, break bread, talk, meet, and network. So I'm going to do my best to have those guys on. Happy birthday to the Brooklyn kid. Donis, Mr. Bagby. This too shall pass. This too shall pass. In a golf analogy, brother, I'm on the right side of the divot today. Yeah, I know the Philippines got you, boy. They got you wrapped around their finger, man. And Donis, man. Like I said, the golf analogy. You're on the right side of the divot, man. So it's only uphill from there. You got my email, man. Email me. Let's chop it up, bro. I'll be back in the States in May. Not quite sure how long I'm going to be back, but I'll be back in the streets in May. I'll keep y'all posted so that, if some of y'all want to hook up, link up. Hey, definitely, Jared, me, you going to link up. Because I think that, I ain't going to put your travel plans out there. You know how to get at me. But, hey, bro, I want to thank y'all all for being here. Again, Day in the Flow podcast on YouTube. Please go like, subscribe. There's going to be new content soon. I really want to get that channel monetized to the point that money can be donated to the Veterans Crisis Hotline. I know that it's run, but there are a couple of other charities that go out for vets and also for Black men's mental health. Hey, thank you guys. I truly appreciate you, Eric. Jerish, love you, brother, for being on here. Kevin down in Albany, thank you so much. Rice Patty, Mulatto Vanguard, all of y'all. And just remember that, just love yourself, man. But also remember this. You're always welcome here. I love you all, and there's nothing you can do about it. Peace, man.